let's look at simple interest. The simple interest formula, simple interest equals P times I times N. The P is the starting amount or the principal amount. The I is the interest rate, which is a percentage, and the N is the number of years. So calculate simple interest charged on a loan of $4,500 paid over 4 years if the interest rate is that. Right, so this is going to be my P. 4 years is my time, which is N, and this is my I. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute into that formula 4,500 multiplied, well, my I was 12%, and remember we're using it as a calculation, so 12 over 100, which equals 0.12. So I'm going to multiply by 0.12 multiplied by N, which is 4, and if I work that out, I will get 2,160 Rand. That is interest only. So if I wanted to know how much I would have to pay on that loan, the real cost of the loan, okay, real cost is everything you've paid. So it's going to be 4,500 plus 2,160. It's nearly double, 0,666. So that would cost me 6,660. That is simple interest, which calculates interest only. Hire purchase, this is when people cannot afford to buy something cash. They take out what we call a hire purchase agreement and they pay it off, so they take it home, but it only becomes theirs once they've paid off the final amount. So the steps in order to calculate doing a hire purchase agreement, the first thing we calculate is the deposit. So let's have a look here. He buys a car for that amount. He pays a deposit. That is my deposit. The balance over 3 years, that's going to be my N, and 16% interest. Okay, 16% interest per annum. So let's calculate the deposit. So our deposit is 13%, which is 13 over 100 of the cost price or the cash price, which is 45,000. You could have written 45,000 multiplied by 13 over 100. Remember, you can swap multiplication sums around. If I calculate that, I will get 5,850 Rand. I have to pay a deposit to show goodwill, and then the shopkeeper knows that I'm serious about taking this car. So that is the deposit. Then I have to go and calculate the loan amount. Well, the loan amount is how much you are going to technically borrow from the shop. So you've already paid 5,850. So how much do you need to borrow, in inverted commas, from the shop? So we will take the selling price, which was 45,000, minus the deposit, which you've already paid, which is 5,850. And if I subtract those, I will get 39,150 Rand. So that is what I still owe. Now the shopkeeper is very happy because you are going to pay interest on that and he's going to get rich from you. So let's calculate the hire purchase agreement amount. And remember, the A is the amount after. A, amount after. P is the principal or the loan amount. I is your interest rate. which is a percentage, and N equals the time in years. So let's have a look what we are going to do here. I like to fill it in at this point. So my P, remember my loan amount was 39,150. My I, not the deposit rate, was 16%, 16 over 100, which equals 0.16, and my N was 3 years. Now, all I'm going to do, I'm going to substitute into that formula. Now, please remember that I dot N actually means I times N. So my A is going to be, now can you see, once I've got it written out like this, all I have to do is substitution. So my principal is 39,150 bracket 1 plus my I was 0.16 times N, which is 3 years. And if I multiply that, you can do it in one step in your calculator. You are going to get to a value of 57,942 Rand. So this is what you are going to pay the shopkeeper over 3 years. Which brings us to our next calculation, which is the monthly installments. Right, the monthly installments, so I have to work out how much I'm going to pay each month. So from our previous calculation, we got a value of 57,942 divided by, remember it was 3 years, so 3 times 12 will give me 36 months. And if I do that calculation, I am going to get 1,609,50. The other thing that they often talk about is the real cost of that item. Okay, the real cost of the loan or the real cost of the item that was bought. So in other words, what did you take out of your pocket? Well, you paid the deposit plus the HP agreement amount. Sometimes they had admin fees. So what was our deposit? The deposit was 5,850. My HP agreement, when I did this whole calculation here, came to 57,942, which is nearly 58,000. So that's 57,942. 942. So if I go and calculate that quickly, 5850 plus 57,942 equals, that will cost me 63,792 Rand, when in the beginning it was priced at 45,000. Do you see how people make money out of those people who cannot afford the full price?